I'm gonna play a little bit of this release clip from CNN. And obviously, again, she's sitting next to Tim Walz. It's pre-recorded, so we don't know what's edited out. We know it's not no live questions. We don't know if she already got the questions ahead of time. But just to start it off, I want to get y'all thoughts. This is my first time actually seeing this clip, also. Um, but apparently the question is related to why her positions is changing now that she's the actual Democratic nominee instead of what it was that she was supporting when it was her and Biden running at the same time. But I'm gonna play a little bit of this.
This is for Jake Tapper, and we start this hour with the massive breaking news. Our very first look at CNN's exclusive interview with Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris. Harris and her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, sat down with CNN's Dana Bash, an interview that wrapped up moments ago in Georgia, where Harris and Walz are trying to win over voters in what will be one of the most important swing states in this election. Now, this is the pair's first interview as the Democratic ticket, and it's Harris's first interview since the presidential race was upended less than 6 weeks ago. And I want to go straight to CNN's Dana Bash. Dana, a pivotal time, a pivotal moment in this campaign. The first ballots get mailed out next week. Tell us about the conversation.
Hi, Phil. Well, it was wide-ranging. We talked about several issues that are very important to voters, including and especially, of course, the economy, affordability. One of the key issues for Kamala Harris is that because she has not run on her own since she ran briefly during the 2020 cycle, is what are her policy positions now versus what they were before? And I asked her about a few very specific policies, for example, on immigration and on the issue of energy, the Green New Deal, fracking, and then more broadly talked about her changes and how that could or should affect voters. Listen to that exchange.
Generally speaking, how should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, as an example. That value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed.
So, what do y'all make of that?
I feel like she didn't answer the question.
She didn't, bro. She
Me
never
too.
did.
Me too.
Like when they I don't know a lot. Like most of my stuff I get from you, and I was looking for her to inform me on something, and I didn't learn anything. Like it is,
I
she
don't.
didn't
I
answer
don't
the
know.
fucking question at all. What about your values? She didn't ask you about your values, ma'am.
I'm looking forward to actually looking at the full interview again because I know a lot, and just I think it's simply because I've been covering it so much. I'm really into politics in general, but I've been really covering it hard probably over the last 2 years publicly as far as really diving into what the difference is between what happened in the Trump's term versus what's happening in this term, and when you start to look at the compare and contrast, it's vast. And so I've been covering the migrant crisis. I seen what they was doing down in El Paso. I've been covering. I covered the Chips Act. I covered the infrastructure deal. Right. I covered all of that. I've read all of it. The policies that was being proposed, and then eventually, I seen the fighting between in Congress and all of this stuff. I seen what was happening with the student loan forgiveness and how that played out from its inception all the way from when Biden was saying, "No, Congress got to do it. We passing this off," to eventually him saying, "Well, I want to actually start to do this a little bit differently." So I've been covering all of this stuff very extensively. So my perspective and my knowledge base, I do understand that it might be a little bit more extensive than most regular people. And so when she don't answer the question and they ask her, or I'll give it to you differently. When they ask her softball questions like, have your policies changed or anything? Instead of saying, hey, listen, we got 10 to 15 million people that it came over the border, right? What is your perspective on that? And why, you know what I'm saying? When they don't deep dive into it a little bit more, I can tell when she's, you know what I'm saying, finessing. And so what I seen in that particular exchange, for example, and I want to get the full context, that's why I can't wait to review it tomorrow. What I seen in that exchange, for example, was her word salad her way through it and say first she said, well, my policy on climate change, nobody gives a fuck about climate change, honestly. Like, as voters, nobody is going to sit here and vote one way or the other based off of where it is
The
that you stand on
fucking
climate
climate. We
change,
worry
right?
about our
Like, we
taxes and
know that the climate changes, whatever, so on and so forth. That's cool. That's not what voters want to hear. And so she leaned into that one first in order to cover for it and give her time and probably answer the other question. And I don't think that she don't already had the questions. That's number one. And number two, then she just glossed over the whole immigration shit and said, "Oh no, my stance on immigration didn't change. When I was a prosecutor, I prosecuted people that brought guns and drugs over the border. What the fuck does that have to do with immigration and the thing that people really care about?" Because I literally just got the documents today of Chicago's budget deficit, and they $1 billion in the deficit just from
That's crazy.
8 months. They didn't even fill a full term yet. 8 months of Brandon Johnson being in office, they already in a deficit. And a lot of it, about $700 million, has been allocated to the migrant crisis, and it's not stopping. So now I'm just like, what you know what I'm saying? I want to really know what's going on. And I don't think that
Well,
I think she just finessed it. And the fact that they let her get away with this, because Trump, they pressed him. JD
mhm.
Vance, they hit it. They don't let him. But wait a minute. I want to they press them hard. They don't press her. She's sitting there with her babysitter Tim Walls. And that bothers me. It bothers me.
um, the two things that stood out to me was when she said that her values haven't changed. She should have been able to spit out what her values were. Um, Quentin, I think you just said that, like she didn't say that. And then my thing is, if she's really about whatever she's implying, because she still hasn't really said what she's about, so one can only imply that she thinks she's about, doing the things that we're complaining about them not having done. And I'm being vague because that's how vague she's been. Then any opportunity you get to clear the air, you would. Like, if she knows people have accused her of not doing her job, as the borders are, the person over the border, the person who's responsible for reporting what's going on with the border, why, whatever you want to call it. She knows that a great deal of America thinks she has not done her job. So if she really has done her job, I would think the first thing out of her mouth would be examples of how she has done her job. And the fact that she said immigration and went all the way back to when she was in a whole different position for a reference point of success, she's kind of proving what's being said about her.
Yeah.
So I can't. And not for nothing, she started addressing what the interviewer brought up. If I'm running for president, I kind of don't care what you ask me. To some degree, I need to make sure that I get out all the information that I need to get out. So yeah, I don't feel any differently about her with her response. Unfortunately. Well, no, not unfortunately, but
Yeah, it's
I
really
don't know.
weird. But I'm looking
And then
forward to it.
real quick,
Go ahead.
have you guys watched do you watch Pat Bet David?
Yeah, I watch
every
him
now
occasionally when I get a chance. Patrick Bet
and
David.
then.
He did an interview with is something Wines Doctor, I can't think of his first name. He's like an intellectual that they'll interview a lot to get his opinion on government, politics, whatever. And one of the things that he was talking about was like how Kamala really got into the position of becoming the next person to be president. And it had me thinking, does she even really want to do this? Because he kept overemphasizing how, like the powers that be
Yeah.
made this happen the way it did. And she was kind of over there and now brought in as the obvious next choice. So I was like, does she even want to be president?
Oh
Because
yeah,
she could.
absolutely.
You think she really wants to be, or she has convinced herself that she can be?
No, I think
'Cause I-
that she really wants to be president, but I don't think that she wants to be president for the right reasons. I think that she wants to be president because, and I think that we all have that ego within us, right? Because I think that two things have to be true in order for anybody to do things the right way. Because I think that we should be rewarded, but then at the same time, we have to be there for the right reasons. And it's hard. It's very hard, in my opinion, to find both. Right? Usually, people are there for one or the other. Usually, people are there because, listen, man, I just want to do the right thing. I don't really care about anything,
Mhm.
or they there because I just really want the power or the money, and it's this alternative reason why I want to be there. Very rarely can you find people that can do both, right? Listen, I want to be there for the right reasons. I'm gonna give y'all the value. I'm gonna get my stuff on the back end because I also know that it'd be dope to be fairly compensated, or to be compensated, or to be rewarded for what it is that I've done that are great, right? You
Mhm.
you don't find people with both most of the time, and I think that in her case, I don't think that she wants to be there because she really wants to change the narrative, or fix America or whatever. Because, and the reason that I could say that is because, first, her personality doesn't read that way because she's done what she wanted to do in order to get what she gonna get. There's too many
Mhm.
examples and illustrations. I think it was Dave Chappelle that said that she was sitting in a room or something like that, and he walked in and it was a bunch of people, and she was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be president one day," and all of this stuff. And he kind of illustrated that. And then, last but not least, she her last term and her record don't speak to doing things the right way. Whether it be district attorney, whether it be this last 3.5 years, it doesn't speak to a person that actually want to do it for the right reasons. And so, I just think that it's very hard to find somebody who wants to be there, who also wants to be rewarded, but then at the same time they want what's best for the people. I don't get that from her. That's not what
I
I
don't
see.
even get.
I think
I
she want
don't
to
get
be
the.
there because she want to be the first black woman. She
Mhm.
want to win, and I think that she just got that desire to win and that desire to be great, just like a lot of other people.
It just seems like she doesn't have drive, or well, not drive, but I don't know. It just made me start looking at it differently. Like she just doesn't seem like she's putting herself out there as much as I would think one would if they really wanted the position. But maybe she's also like, I don't think I have to. So
Oh, I think she really want it.
I think she does. Like she tried to run for it before. I just think this is like the probably like the equivalent to like you had like an assignment and you showed up to class like last minute and you didn't do your like research type thing.
but
And she
that's
just
my
got
point.
thrusted in here and she just kind of like
I,
muddling
I
her
think
way.
that, but see, that's why I think that the president of the United States of America is more of a man's position. Because, and I'm gonna tell you why though, men inherently are, we just drive to conquer. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an inherent thing, to build, to take over, to conquer. There's never going to be enough money for a man, for most men. Like, you're not gonna sit here, and that don't mean that you got to do it the wrong way, but there's never enough greatness for a man. We want to take over the world. We want to conquer. We want to build. We want statues in our name. We want our names on the front of a library at a university. That's why we donate to that shit. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be the Anton Daniels School of Business. We are inherently driven to just be greater, and it doesn't have to be for some kind of alternative reason. There are people that do it for alternative reasons, but like when I see Trump, right? It was no fucking reason for him to ever have to run for president of the United States of America.
He was bored.
other than to just say that
No,
he
but if
did
you look
it.
at his previous interviews with Oprah and shit, he was saying like, "Yo, listen, I think I can win."
Like
Like
20 years ago,
back
he
in
was
the
saying that
early
shit.
'90s, I started looking at them old clips in the early '90s and stuff, and even Stephen A. Smith told Patrick Bet David that he said, "Hey man, listen, I'm gonna become president, and everybody gonna have to make some changes when I get in there." Like this was way before 2016. I didn't discover those interviews until later, but he was already rich. He had
Hmm.
already got a legacy. He did the TV show, he did everything. He had accomplished, every single thing. Mike Tyson loved him, black people loved him, everybody loved him.
Hmm.
I don't think that he thought that everybody was going to switch up on him, but it was no reason for him to ever run for president of the United States of America if it had anything to do with more money or more. I just honestly think that he just sought to conquer, and this is one of the things that he wanted to throw on his resume. And then
I agree with
ultimately, I think that he did a phenomenal job.
I think in one of those interviews, he said something about if I were ever to run for president, I'll run on the Republican tickets because they're stupid as fuck. Like he legit said, "You guys are stupid. You'll vote for me." Type stuff.
Yeah.
That's that's crazy. Like a full moment circle. How he was really. I didn't think it could happen. Like I'm not gonna lie. When he ran president first time, I was totally against it. When I saw
that.
Hillary lost, I was like, ah, fuck, going to fucking Canada.
I'm never moving to Canada. They got the worst taxes in the world, bro. It seemed like
I
Jesus
saw that.
Christ.
I saw
Yeah, I
that.
thought it was a joke.
Yeah, but I just for her in particular, I just think I really think she wanted, but I don't think that she wanted to actually do anything. I think she wanted for she just like a nigga. I wouldn't think she wanted for her legacy.
Really? I don't get that. So let me ask you this. Do you think that if Biden, well, let's assume Biden's going to finish his term out. If Biden were to have stayed in the race
Mhm.
and won the next election, do you think she would run after that?
Hell
She
yeah,
would have
she
ran
was gonna
after
go for
that?
that. Hell yeah, she gonna go for it.
Really? Okay.
What haven't she been able to get? Whether it's busting it down for a real one, whether it's whatever.
Okay,
What haven't she accomplished?
but let me okay, well hold on. Do you think she wanted to be vice president, or do you think that that was a strategy for the Democratic Party
Oh,
and they put her in that place?
I think that Biden thought that he was making a play when he picked her, and I think that she pushed him out. I think that from the very beginning, she bit her tongue. I don't think she gave a fuck about Joe Biden at
Hmm.
all, not even a little bit. But I think
Hmm.
that, like a lot of women, listen, she's like an NFL wife. The minute that you stop throwing that fucking football, she might move on to the next person. She could have played
Hmm.
on any given
Wait, what
Sunday.
do you mean with that? What, okay, bring
The
that. I
minute that
said,
you no longer serve a purpose in her life, you gone.
but so you think she was trying to become VP and positioned
I
herself,
think
or
she
do you
wanted
think
to
she
be
wasn't
fucking
even thinking
president.
about it?
I think she wanted to become president when the opening came for her to become VP, which ultimately would have gave her a better chance to leapfrog into being the president. She took it.
Oh, wait. I think I'm getting my stuff mixed up. She ran for president before she became VP.
Yeah,
Okay,
Correct.
so
She ran in
2016.
2019.
Right there.
I got it. I'm thinking about it backwards, which wouldn't make sense. So,
A hundred
all right.
percent. I think that
Right.
she think just like a man. 100%. But she got the assets of a woman, and she was decent. She was decent looking. Right? She
Mm-hmm.
aging, so everybody ages, but Um, I think she thinks just like a man. And she's one of them, she could have been an NFL. I don't think that she fucking like Dougie. You come on. So you're telling me, let's think about
Who
this
her
for a minute.
husband?
You think that look, she went from Montel Williams, allegedly Montel Jordan, all of this stuff. She had dudes buying her BMWs when she
Wait,
was
she
going through
had
law school
both
and shit.
Montels.
Now you telling me that she went with Dougie?
Regular ass Doug.
Stop that shit. She went from being an
Um,
AKA and the HBCU and all of this, and then all of a sudden she married Dougie
yeah,
and didn't give
I'm
him
not.
no no kids or nothing. Come on, come on.
Maybe she couldn't have kids.
No, 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 no. This woman is a straight up nigga. I'm telling you. She is a straight up, and her thinking, she cut throat. She cut throat. She
Is
plays
she
no
is she
games.
is she like gonna be a president, or is she just like the face behind like a bigger machine type of thing?
I don't think she cares. I think that she wants to win. In the same way that a chick that's waiting at the hotel room for an NBA player wants to win.
I don't
I
know.
think that
I
she
don't think
wants
she
to
wants.
win. That type of, let me tell you something, Carrie. That type of woman is scary to go against and great to have on your team.
What does this look like on the national stage when you got to go fucking talk to Putin? Like, what does this look like? He don't respect a woman. Get this hoe out of my face.
Let me tell you something. That woman is scary to go. That's that type of woman, man. She plays no fucking games. She will do whatever it takes. I'm telling you, she will do whatever it takes to win. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm still
And it's
trying to
women
learn.
like that every single day. And a lot of these guys that get finessed and they get leapfrogged off of, I don't think even for 1 second I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't sleep. I wouldn't close my eyes next to her. But I would definitely have her working for me if I could.
Hmm. I don't
Oh,
know.
dang.
She is one of the most dangerous type of women that you can have around you.
Hmm.
Think about it. Everybody, look, she had men taking care of her. The dude that was over there in California, come on, man, she was hanging around Montel Williams and his daughter. Every story that you'd have never heard until hey, I'm Dougie. Come on, man. I don't even believe that that's how they got together. No way in the fucking world you could tell me that that's how they got together. That woman is
Wasn't
strategic.
it like
She
a blind
planned.
date or something?
That's what they said. Hey, yeah, I was on a blind date. Come on, get the fuck out of here.
People meet like that,
Get out of
Anton.
here. Get out of
Not,
here.
not powerful people.
Dougie was the perfect person. The perfect. I think that even Dougie believed that he loved her, that she loved
Oh,
him.
they might have a great marriage, but I don't know. I don't. I'm still trying to. I don't really know what my thoughts are about Kamala, and that's another reason why I can't. I
I know
just
that.
can't
I know
rock with
that
her. I
type of
can't.
woman when I see it.
I don't feel her.
I
In
know that
my
type of woman when I
mind,
see it.
there's no way the American people are gonna not let Trump win. I don't think there's no way
They
that
said
she's.
that in 2016.
Well, I'm saying he's gonna win. Like,
Oh,
there's no
okay. I know
way
what you're
they're gonna
saying.
let him
I thought you were
lose.
saying the opposite. I thought you were saying
No,
the
there's
opposite.
no. Yeah, I said it kind of weird. My bad. Yeah, there's no way they're gonna let him lose. I don't think there is.
Yeah, I think that that's
Like
a
the
business
only, like
relationship.
literally the only people like in my sphere, like I can pick out the people that I know. You're blackety black, so you're gonna vote for Kamala. But the
Mm.
rest of them, they Trump.
Oh, in my world, oh my gosh, everybody is voting for Kamala. Like I I have yet to come across anybody who seems to really know why.
Why? Nope. Nope.
Don't
Nope.
even
But
matter.
it
Nope.
don't
So
it for
she
real.
she's a deadly. She's very very
Actually,
deadly.
well, let me see if can we take calls tonight.
Um, listen, the only call I'm taking is if people can actually substantiate why they would vote for Kamala Harris. It's the only call I'm taking.